Anyway, today is the day. The sun is out for the first time in about 3 or 4 days here in Georgia. It's a little bit warmer, but shoot, man, we done had some cold, cold, cold days here. I mean, cold days. But as usual, after a while, the weather breaks and it starts getting warm. And it's heating up around here, man. Oh, Marjorie, it's MTG is heating up, buddy. She got them folks up there in her county, well, her district where she live at. She got them rednecks fired up.
I see she was on CNN today. I didn't see it.
Yeah, she was on CNN talking big time, big stuff, man. She talking big stuff, man. She embarrassing Trump, man. She embarrassing that old boy, and he really putting it on True Social now. So she done came out and told. She said that summer gun put her out there on blast. She said they done found a pipe bomb around her house, a pipe bomb at her business, her construction company.
Damn.
She said one of the family members and stuff had a pipe bomb. They had threatened to have a pipe bomb around them, but that they didn't find. And they could put in a death threat on her son.
Damn. Wow.
Hey, she said, hey, this don't make any sense here. She said politics is politics and everything. It's rough out there. But this stuff right here does not make any sense. She said, my family is in is in big trouble and stuff and everything. And she said she doesn't know what they're gonna do. Her construction company and everything, they having all kind of problems and stuff there with them and keeping people working because they're afraid because these people just threatening these folks. They said it has gotten to be horrible and ridiculous, and she can't get no help from anybody
Mm.
since Trump and put her on blast, call her a traitor.
Well, he ain't nothing
But
but a gangster, bro.
yeah, but she ain't stopped, man. She went out. They had some company and stuff who wanted to build a bio plant and stuff someplace up there in that district. And man, she come out there into that meeting and blasted them bio folks out. They said that they told the board that they better not approve them coming to the area. So y'all ain't bringing Atlanta's crap up here and, and burning it up and telling us that it ain't poisonous. Ooh, man, she had the whole place was packed and they were laughing and hollering and stuff, man. I told you she got this place fired up, man. She might run for governor and win. Yeah, they can't do nothing with it now. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, and I have no idea how she's protecting her family and her business or anything. She didn't say
Well,
anything about
I'm
that.
sorry this is happening to her, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, bro. She did some bad things, bro. Some bad
Well,
things. She sat there and she stood up and called Biden a liar, pointed her finger at him, wore a mega hat in the pit. She went all out and she got up. She got the attention that she needed. She was a loudmouth against the Democrats.
well,
So I don't necessarily feel sorry for her, but I don't want nothing to happen to her, that kind of way. But
no, not her family or anything like that. Threatening
no,
people's children and stuff and everything. That crap thing that's gone too far. But she said that this is nothing. She said a lot of the representatives and Congress and stuff and senators and stuff are being threatened by Donald Trump. Anybody who says anything against him, she said they are being threatened. So she said a lot of them are not even coming out and saying anything. They just quiet and just don't do anything at all. And that's why she says a whole bunch of them is getting ready to resign. So they're getting the hell out of there. So they can't stand it. You know, they had Trump on Politico. I think it's Politico or some uh, um, liberal news thing and everything, and they had him on there, and he was absolutely nasty with that lady. I mean, really nasty. And somebody asked him about the people who were getting ready to leave, and he jumped on some news lady and stuff and saying, well, "What about the Democrats? What about the Democrats? Are the Democrats resigning? You ain't said anything about them." Man, he dogged this lady out, man. I don't know what news she was from, but he dogged her out real bad. She was still trying to talk and everything, and he finally told her to shut up. He found somebody else at the news conference. Man, he is he going, oh man.
Well, that's what hey, ain't nothing new. That's the way he is. He always been that way. Our girl last night, man, I heard her speech.
Oh man, that was dynamite.
Yeah, it was dynamite.
That was dynamite.
She
Now,
know the
now,
cost too
now,
that she getting ready to pay.
I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but she had somebody out there from somebody, and I don't know who in the hell that man was, but he got to talking, and they just started playing music to get him off the stage. I have no idea who he was, but he just kept talking and talking and talking out of his head. So instead of them coming out there and taking the mic from it, they just started playing music loud. So he just kindly just stopped and looked around and walked off the stage. Oh, they did that man bad. I don't know why they had him out there or thought that he was going to be going to say anything. I don't know. He must have had some powers somewhere, but it was a mess. But when she got out there, she gonna get them boys hell, man. It ain't gonna be like you get them Democrats, man. They're talking about her. She can't win. She can't do this. She can't do this. Well, damn, ain't nobody else y'all put up there that want either. It's the way you blasting her out for. She can't win. Hell, you done had the other boy that then ran twice for the U.S. Senate, and you done had the boy that ran for governor. I forget his name, man. He's like they can't win. So why not support her? I don't understand that. Why are they sitting in there talking about her? Republicans are going to say a whole lot about it already, but hell, they'll have the Democratic Party and stuff dog out and everything. That's not. That was. I thought that was kind of nasty on their part. So we'll see what's going to happen. She got the primary in March, and she probably will win the primary and stuff. But it all depends on stuff who wins the Republican primary. Because that knucklehead Paxton and stuff, he got a lot of Republicans and stuff who are behind him. He gonna give poor John holy hell. So we'll see. I downloaded a copy of her speech and everything, so I'm gonna put it up somewhere in my archives and play a few lines of it and everything down the road. Because I thought it was great. She did an excellent job and stuff on that. Whoever wrote it for or helped her write it and everything did a good job. But I don't know, man. Them people and stuff who were sitting there at the crowd, they didn't seem like they were really anxious about being there. Everybody up in that front three or four rows, even when she was talking and saying anything, that they never got up and said, "Hey," and shook their placards and all of those stuff and everything. I didn't understand what was going on there. But then at the end,
Well, the way I picked up on, and you're right, I picked up on that too. However, I think she's running to buoy up the Democratic Party in Texas. This ain't about her running for Senate. I think this is about spending money, getting these Democrats excited, the non-voters, the things she's talking about, the real thing, because I heard on YouTube a few people calling in and they were, pretty much non-voters and from Texas and people that were, on the fence and stuff like that. And so people were calling in about it. And I think this is what this is about. This is about ginning up not only the Democrats, but ginning up these what they call non-committed people,
Independence.
independents. So, and a lot of people are independent because they don't like the way this country is going, Republican or Democrat. And so they just don't even vote. And then some people, of course, vote Republican, Democrat. They holding their nose. So, just like when Hillary was running, I held my nose and voted. Kamala, I think she would have done a great job. She had her flaws, but I think she would have done a great job. I mean, I know she feels the pain of the American people. Hillary Clinton is more elitist, and she understands that. But the one thing for sure, she would have brought a lot of black people in tune. But I'm gonna say something here that might be out of the whack or our norm, and it's the holidays coming up, and a lot of people, I notice, people saying Merry Christmas and all that, and that's wonderful. But we all know that Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. And I don't know how you feel about this, but always, I used to love that question. What would Jesus do? They used to have little wristbands they used to sell, and they had this. Everybody was wearing a wristband. What would Jesus do? And I'm listening to these people, and the thing that comes to mind to me, Jesus was supposed to have been a single person. Supposed to have been a single person. He wasn't married. Now, there are stories out there that said that he did get married and he had children. I don't know. My Bible don't say that. However, I always ask the question because, you have all of these religions. See, and we're living in the holidays, and a lot of different religions don't even believe in Christ and all of that. And the two things the thing that he said that really stuck with me as myself, as a follower of Christ. He said, love God with all your might, all your strength, and all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. Hang all the others. Because you're not going to lie, you're not going to bear false witness against people, you're not going to commit adultery, you're not going to do all those things, you're not going to do all those things of the Ten Commandments. That right there is fine. But the one thing that you have to realize, he said, I don't have no place to lay my head. But yet, he was rich, very well off, and he knew a lot of rich people. And he was only 33 years old when they crucified him. And so I said, well, I wonder why he did never get married. Maybe, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. We only go by what we read. And so what I was thinking, I said, the thing is that right now, in this country, I don't know about the world, in this country right now, it's a 50% chance that you'll still be married to the first wife. You know, and I was looking at the one thing that I always said, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but the thing is that people don't realize this, and this is the thing that really is heartfelt to me, because when Jesus was talking about marriage, because they did ask him in the scriptures about marriage, he says the reason why you get a divorce if there was adultery involved. Because that's why, we all have faults and you're supposed to forgive. No matter what that person's done financially against you or, you know, any kind of things, what have you, you got to forgive them. But the one thing that you get a divorce from is adultery. Now, I'm here to tell you, in 51 years, I've never committed adultery. Now, he said that if you lust, that's just like adultery. Have I lust? Yeah, because there's a lot of beautiful women out there. But the thing is, do you carry it in your heart? If I lust after someone, I ask God for repentance and say, Lord, forgive me. I repent. Because, there's a lot of beautiful women out there. And so, therefore, the temptation is, that's why God, the prayer says, keep me from temptation. And we get tempted all the time, all kind of things. Lying, stealing, all of that. So I'm bringing it up because the number one thing is if you love God, you're going to work on yourself. And there's people out there that claim themselves to be a Christian, but they're not working on themselves. I look at myself in the mirror almost every day, try to do better. I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I have weaknesses. That's why the Bible says, know yourself. If you know yourself, you're not going to get yourself into temptation. So I'm saying this, that I want people to realize that you have to walk in love and love God with all your heart and mind and soul and love your neighbor as yourself. Now, it don't mean that you got to, do all kind of craziness and, as far as your neighbor go, but everybody's your neighbor. So that means you treat people with decent respect and honor and be civil with people. So now we are in a whole new ball game where almost no one is civil. Everyone is based on, Jesus said, he said, hey, let Caesar deal with Caesar. Politics is politics. And, you can have some emotions and some feelings about politics because, there's policies that you might agree or disagree. But the point is, it's just an opinion. It's just an agreement, a disagreement. The thing is that this country has allowed us to petition to our representatives to get what we want. And it's our job as citizens, because the way this country was set up, it's our job to petition to get the right people in office so that we can get what we want. Because they're taking your tax dollars, they're taking your state dollars, your taxes. Every time you buy something, you got to pay taxes. Every time, when you work and they're taking taxes out, everything you buy, they're taking taxes out. So therefore, you have to work on your representative. And that's your state representative and your congressperson and your senate person. If you're not happy with politics, and every American should be doing that. That's part of you being a citizen. That's why the founding fathers set it up the way they set it up. So why are we, you said we was talking about Jasmine Crockett. The reason why she was running, in my opinion, like I said earlier, the reason why she's running is because she has genuine love for her state and this country. That's why she's running. Because she don't need to run, bro. She got plenty of money. She got plenty of money. She can take the easy street out and just go on about her business. She was a prosecutor, civil rights attorney. She ain't got to play those games. But what the reason why she's running, this is why I admire her so much. It's because she don't need the money. She don't need a salary from the state as a state representative. You know, and I think that she know that her life will be in danger and her family. And she's doing this out of love because she loves people. And she sees the circumstances and the situation of what's going on. And she has enough heart to stand out there and do this. This is what she's doing. And that's what people should do. And I don't care what profession you're in, you should be doing this out of love. And that's what she's doing. And there's a lot of people out there making a lot of money and they thinking they got it because they're so gifted and talented. But you are supposed to be doing things to benefit other people, especially if you're making a ton of money. It was just talking about these multi-millionaires and billionaires and all the money they're giving to these college football programs and all that. Well, all that's wonderful and dandy, but you know what? It ain't feeding nobody. You ain't building no houses. All you doing is you want your name to be in lights, calling the stadium your name and that kind of thing. So I'm saying, you know, my prayer for Jasmine Crockett is going to be every day, all day, praying for her. Every time she crossed my mind, I'm going to say a little prayer for her. That she's protected, that the angels of the Lord is encamped all around her. Because she is doing what Jesus told her to do. That's what I believe. She's being led by the Spirit. This is a spiritual thing, bro. This ain't about her power. I don't believe. I don't even believe it. I don't believe she's doing it for power. I don't believe she's doing it for none of that. I believe she's doing it out of love. That's the reason why she's doing it. And she ain't doing it because of Democrats and Republicans. She know that the Democratic Party is the only party right now that care about people. They ain't perfect. So I'm pulling for her all the way. And the thing is, are you gonna do what would Jesus do in your profession? Are you doing the things that what Jesus would do? You call yourself a Christian? Because I believe that's what she's doing. I don't know where that came from. But I'm telling you, bro, I'm feeling her, bro. I'm feeling her deep. Because I know, man, I'm looking at her, man. I'm looking at her eyes, man. Her eyes tell it all. Her eyes tell it all, bro. And she know this is gonna be a hard. Even I don't care if she lose by 20 points. I don't care. This right here is some dangerous shit.
You you know what? I I think her biggest challenge is going to come from the Democratic Party.
What?
The biggest challenge is going to come from the Democratic Party
Why you say that again?
because they already beaten over the head. Those quotes that I made earlier and stuff came from folks from the Democratic Party. And Texas has the largest black population in the country.
That's right.
They are 60 some percent minorities. But I think her largest thing going to come from our folks who are going to show that same apathy that they showed Harris. She can't win. I ain't gonna go out and vote for her. I can see it. I can see it. We just cannot. And I'm glad you said what you said about it, and you brought it down to her and what she's about and what's going on, because that should be in everybody's and stuff heart that about why she's doing that. And I don't think that our people and stuff and everything has that same conviction and stuff inside of them, and we probably need to keep saying stuff like that almost every other show or every show that we do to try to get people to come out there and support her without any reservations and stuff in their heart. Come out there and support her no matter what anybody else says, no matter what your neighbor says. Come out there and be totally committed and stuff and everything to what she's doing. I'm hoping that what I'm saying is wrong, but Mr. Allred, the guy who ran last time for against Cruz, he did something that I thought was magnanimous. He wanted to run again for the Senate seat, but he realized and stuff and everything that they were going in a three-way race that they were going to beat the Democrats up and everything. So he got the heck out of there and said, "Well, if I'm going to go over here and run to be in the U.S. House, go back to where he came from when he first started running for the U.S. Senate, when he was running against Ted Cruz." And he backed off and said, "Hey, I'm going to do this." He didn't say that he was doing it because of Jasmine. He said he doing it because he did not want um, to have a clash there and have a runoff and stuff with those folks and stuff. Because if you don't get over 50% of the vote in the primary, you have to have a runoff. So he figures that he did not want to have that to happen, so he backed himself out. And I'm pretty sure that he got out of there and stuff because he probably really wanted Jasmine and stuff to have some clear paths and stuff past the primary election and stuff in March, because she's going to have a hell of a mountain to climb. What if she has to and to have to deal with that primary and put a lot of effort into it and everything? It's going to take a lot away from her because the money is not going to follow her. The big money is not going to follow her, even though she knows in her heart and everything it's going to take over $100 million and stuff to win that daggone election, because you have to get organizations out there. You got to get people out there on the ground. But in her mind and stuff, she said people power is worth more, and she's right. People power is worth more, but you still got to have some money. Still got to have some dollars and stuff to back you up if you want to get out there win a major election like there in Texas, because there's a lot of money in Texas, and whoever comes out of that Republican primary and stuff is going to get a lot of money. But I'm hoping I'm wrong, Ted, but I can see it, man. I can smell it because, like I told you, when I saw them people sitting in that front row and they did not stand up and they did not do anything, and then to find out at the end of the day, gone, her presentation and the show was over with and everything, that those were people who was in the front row were representatives from the state of Texas. they were Texas representative, and they did not clap. They did not get up there and rah 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 anything. She
Well,
gonna need them. She gonna need them. And if you don't, and if your constituents see that you aren't out there and stuff and everything, then what makes them feel that they have to get out there? If your own people aren't excited about her because they don't think that she can win. Maybe after the primaries are over, when she's the candidate out there, then they'll be okay. But I don't, man, I don't. It really irked me and stuff to see that happen. But like I said, there's somebody else in the primary, so they probably don't want to upset anybody and don't want to endorse anybody until after the primaries are over. I don't know, but she needs to have a bunch of folks and stuff out there and stuff to help her through this whole thing. And I'm hoping that she can, like she said in her speech, can energize those people who don't come out there and vote. So she got a long road ahead of her, and along with running an election, she got people threatening her life. That's a hell of a load to bear. You're already fighting a battle to win, but then you got to worry about your life being threatened and everything. That's a load, man. I'm hoping that she can bear. I'm
well,
hope. Go ahead.
this kind of thing is these threatenings, these politicians and different people all over the country. You get these sales of discontent or white supremacists, whatever. And the thing is that here's the thing is that there are people out there that know how to track these people down.
Hmm.
And it's just a matter of time before they get tracked down.
But you got to have your law enforcement people out there to help to try to track these folks down and get them to done. Law enforcement are going to have to lead, including your FBI, which you know that the FBI director is not going to put forth any effort to protect her. Because if they won't even protect that white woman, what they going to do with a black woman? They won't even get out there and protect Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, there are people out there, I'm going to tell you, that's underground that will be protecting her.
Well, yeah, she's got her folks now who are doing it. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been out there protecting. She
But I'm
has a
talking about
protection team.
there are other people that is out there that, they out there. And, and I know who is the major protector. And we'll see, how that he'll probably even announce it, and maybe he won't. But what I'm saying is that there are people that's out there, bro. And the sad part about it, what you were just saying, there's a lot of us, even ourselves, believe that she don't have a chance. But that's not the issue. The issue is she's going to be out there selling what she's going to bring to the table. Now, will it be good enough? I don't know. Would she win her case? Well, she's the prosecutor. That's her job. She knows how to sell her case. And what she said last night, to me, she sold her case. Now, all she got to do is just tighten it up. And then down some, kind of put it in Cliff Notes. Did you see the ad that she put out there on Trump?
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, man. She had a picture of her on a side view. You know she's beautiful. So she had a side view of her, I mean gorgeous. And Trump was talking in the background. she's low Q, low IQ, she's this, blah, blah, blah. Who is this Jasmine Crockett? Blah, 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 blah. And the Democrats saying that this is their leader, Jasmine Crockett? She's a low IQ. And then, as soon as he finished talking, she turned around and faced the camera. Boom, it was over. That was it. I said, go with your bad self. That right there. Because how you going to sit here and say this woman's low IQ? But come on. So
I saw that. I didn't know that that's what you were talking about, but I saw that, and
yeah,
I wasn't impressed by that. I
I
really
was
wasn't. It didn't
totally
impress me.
impressed with it.
It did
Because
not
that's a
impress me.
statement, bro. That's a statement.
When I saw it, I said, man, that doesn't, she needs somebody else out there to put forth an
No,
ad or
that was
whatever.
nope, nope, nope. That was it. That did it right there. Anybody that's got any kind of knowing what she was saying and doing, saying, in other words, you don't deter me. I know who I am. I'm Jasmine Crockett.
I didn't see that.
That's what
I
I
did
saw.
not, I didn't see that. I did not see that at all. But
That's what I saw, bro.
that's how you saw it, but I did not see that. I thought
Well,
it
she
was,
got me, and that was her statement. What she was doing.
yeah, well, I did not see that. I did not see that. I thought I thought she needed to get to work on her ads and stuff going out there because I did not see that.
This ain't gonna be your typical ad person. This ain't gonna be your typical BS. This right here is gonna be for real stuff. And she already knows she's highly intelligent. She already know that she's damn near genius. She already know that. She knows she's exceptional. Now that's a real exceptional woman right there. She already know that.
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that again because I got the video, so I'm gonna go back and look at that. But I did not see that. I really didn't. But I did see that. I didn't know. I really didn't know what you were talking about when you first said something about it. But then you brought it up and everything. I was, oh, okay, that's the one you're talking about. I did not see that because I know when the camera went away from that commercial and stuff and went back to the center stage, I was saying to myself, man, she needs to work on her daggone ad folks and everything because that ain't. But everybody has their own opinion.
I'm
Everyone has
telling
their
you,
own
bro.
opinion. Everyone has their
That
own
was
opinion.
powerful. That was extremely powerful.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry about that, but I did not see that. Maybe I should have. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna concentrate a little bit more and stuff on it, but I did not see that. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen to it and see. Well, what else you got on the agenda here, brother?
Well,
We getting close here. We getting close here to the
yeah.
end.
Well, the
We
thing
didn't gave
is
girlfriend a big boost of our show here. But
well,
uh,
the thing is what I've been listening to a lot of YouTube and following up on. I get a lot of emails and a lot of stuff about different things. However, what stays fresh on my mind. I'm looking at and probably a lot of people, they're looking at it's three things, and I think I mentioned two of them last night. And I forgot as far as the immigration problem, and I look at the immigration problem, that is very, very serious, cruel, unjust. But here's the thing about the immigration problem: they knew back in the '80s there were people sneaking in, undocumented. And these business people were hiring these people in all kind of different positions and paying them under the table or trying to figure out any kind of way that they can pay them illegally or legally. And we have hundreds of thousands of FBI people and different people that know how to check on who's misusing employees and are they hiring uh, American citizens or do these people have a work permit and that kind of thing. And a lot of them didn't have anything. They just worked. They just hired them, put them to work in the chicken factories and the founders, all kinds of little things that they did in the fields, all of that. And everybody know that it is very easy to contact every business that files an income tax and send a letter to them saying that if you are hiring undocumented people that do not have the right to work here, you will be fined and possibly put in prison if you do not document who you're hiring. So therefore, you need to file e-commerce of all your employees. Now, all their employees supposed to be paying income tax and blah, 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 blah. So therefore, that shouldn't be a problem. You can send that right to the IRS. The IRS can say, okay, here's all the employees, and then boom. And every once in a while, these FBI people go in and check and see if they're hiring undocumented people. And if they are undocumented and they're working and shouldn't be in this country, then you should be sending them out of here. But instead, over the last 35, 40 years, they've been playing that game. That's the government issue. But the reason why they didn't do it is because these businesses were saving millions and billions of dollars hiring undocumented people. And so therefore, they sort of kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, hey, don't mess with them. These Congress people and all that. Don't mess with them, because, hey, somebody paying them ducats. Turn their head. Hey, we ain't got to do all that. So when people say, why are they letting these people work? Well, that's because these Congress people allowed it because they could have called them on the carpet, and then you can go, well, we got to have businesses, and that's how we blah 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 blah. No, they ain't got no business hiring undocumented agents, workers. You got American people, but what they don't want to do is see these people instead of paying regular workers $10, $15, $20 an hour. I can hire this person and pay them $7 an hour and pay them under the table and don't worry about it. I save myself a bunch of money. I ain't got to worry about paying into Social Security. I ain't got to worry about sending all the paperwork, all of that. So therefore, this right here is a Congress and Senate laziness. They've been talking about that shit for 35 years. And now they're treating these people like they ain't nothing. It's just not fair, bro. Now look what your president is getting ready to do. He talking about if you were not American citizen, your kids are not American citizens. I don't care if they was born here. That right now, the Supreme Court is getting ready to look at that right now, bro. If your parents was not legal when your child was born here, because there are Russians right now that come here and have their children so their children can be dual citizens. It's called tourism. And they bring their wives here to have their children in America. And you have these undocumented people come here to work and they have babies and they automatically become Americans. And when they become Americans, that means they are eligible for SSI, food stamps, and everything else. So that's a Congress and a Senate problem. They have not done their job when it comes to immigration.
What's the other two problems? You said you had three.
Well, the thing is, bro.
You forgot.
No. I said it yesterday. The two problems that I really was upset about. But the thing is that when you think about it, and I'm thinking about it right now as far as um, how these people have been treated, and that's really my thing is immigration, and that to me that is been the biggest problem for the last 35 years. When I lived in L.A., there were people, Latino people that was legal that has been here for decades and decades through generation. You know, they came from Mexico or from another part of the country, but they had been here already for decades and decades. So what you gonna do about that? Their parents was illegal. That's 2, 3 generations that people been born here, went to college as U.S. citizens. These Congress people and these Senate people are they are they've been crooks all along. As far as when it comes to immigration, they have made a big industry for immigration law because it's big money. They have been paying these people so that they become U.S. citizens and go to court, and there was a big old scam, big old thing about it. So they have made an industry out of it. Oh, we can get you to be legal. All you got to do is pay me $500 a month or $200 a month, and I can do it for you. And they promise these people legality. So that's my big thing right now. To me, immigration is the big part because they have missed. Look what they're doing, man. They're separating these little kids again, like Trump first came in office. That's exactly what they did the first time. They try to blame it on the Democrats, and they do a good job in blaming it on the Democrats. Biden, Biden found a bunch of the little kids, and they hooked up back with their family. Some of these people got so bold, they even sued the government, and they got thousands and thousands of dollars for it.
Boy. Well, I'm uh, I'm adjusting my ice pack there on my knee. Uh, but anyway, I'm looking at, yes, immigration, and we had an immigration policy, and I think March of last year when Biden was still president, and they had an immigration policy that they were getting ready to enact that was worked up by Republicans and Democrats. But old story, Trump called up, said, "We ain't gonna do nothing with that. You waiting because I'm gonna be the president, so we are not gonna have an immigration policy." And he shut it off just like that. Shut it off. But we all forget about those little things and stuff that happen and stuff down the road because this thing probably Well, I ain't gonna say it probably was not going to happen because of immigration policy, because I think he already had his mind what he had planned on doing with the folks who were in this country. That his thing is to get the Hispanics out of this country by hook or crook. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about those people. He doesn't care uh, about the children being locked up. He doesn't care about anything. All he wants to do is get as many of them as he can. Him and his henchman Stephen Miller. That's their thing. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. And Stephen Miller has indoctrinated Trump into saying that we need to get these people out of here because those are the people who can vote you Republicans and stuff out of office because they became the majority minority. They have out there's more of them here than there are black people. So we got to get rid of them. And whether they had an immigration policy or not, I believe he still would have be doing the same thing he's doing now, getting these folks out of this country by hook or crook. And he's got the Supreme Court sitting there behind him. They have been sitting there with him and allowing him to do whatever the hell he wants to do. So if we don't have a legislative branch of government to put a stop to him, or the people out there do it, we're in trouble because he denies and stuff that his policies and stuff are bad. He knows, he sees those numbers, kid, and he can get on the national TV and stuff and tell people, I'm doing a great job. He told that lady from Politico, would you give yourself a grade for what you're doing? He said, A plus 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 plus. You know damn well he ain't no A plus 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 plus. But he got it in his mind and stuff and everything. He doesn't care what the American people say. In his mind, that's what he is doing. And nobody out there is going to stop him. When you got your own police force, you got your own judicial branch of government under your thumb, and they are doing whatever he wants them to do. I don't know how we're going to stop him, but some kind of way we're going to have to stop him. So, uh, immigration, back in the 80s, Ted, I remember they used to come across the border. Remember Cesar Chavez, right? Over there, he was the head of uh, the uh, the food folks and stuff, the pickers and stuff. You gonna know over there in California, and he and that thing and stuff. There was people bringing their folks across the border. They go up there to the Central Valley, pick all the crops and stuff, pick all the things they got, and then they would pack themselves up and go back across the border. That's what they did. They work, make some money, pack their little stuff up, and go back across the border. Back across the border. But guess what happened? They had unrest down there in those countries in Central America, and the people just couldn't stay there. They had to find a place to go to. But they were getting beat up. The gangs was getting them. Government was corrupt. They couldn't stay there, so they said, "Hey, our safe haven is back across the United States," and they've been coming ever since. And the only person who has stopped them from coming is Daddy Trump. Because he told the lady, they call me daddy over there in the European Union. This man is absolutely out of his damn mind.
Well, he's doing the things that he said he was going to do.
Yes, he is.
So, and he told you right in front of his face, right in front of your
Yes, he
face.
did. He told him. But he denied it, though, before he became elected. He denied it. Oh, I don't know anything about Project 26. I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. He played dumb. As soon as he became elected, the light bulb came back on. Oh yeah. So we're gonna see, Ted. There's a change coming. I believe that there's a change coming. If those Republicans go ahead and resign and get the hell out of there, somebody got to come back and take their spot. And a lot of people are putting the Democrats in office. If they was in one of them seats where they only wanted about 5 or 10%, they can put a Democrat in there, and I guarantee he or she probably will win. So we'll have a majority and stuff there, and they'll be able to put a stop to them because there ain't nobody else going to do it. We can't depend on the judicial system to stop it. And lo and behold, all those folks out there who are doing his bidding, who are committing crimes, they better watch out. And there's a whole bunch of them out there doing it. But they believe in Trump, so hey, and you know Trump, he don't care who they are. If they get in trouble, he gonna leave them high and dry and ready to die. Because the only thing he care about is himself. And yesterday I spoke of Barron. I just saw a video and stuff. He's back on scene. I didn't look at it real close, but he's back on scene. Last word.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do? That's going to be our topic today, folks. What would Jesus do? Look at it. I'm serious. We serious, people. What would Jesus do? He's our savior, right? What would he do? Talk to you guys tomorrow.